audience has actually matured sooner than the film industry. The film industry is still stuck in this loop of ये commercial है, ये item song है, ये action है, ये thriller है, ये hero है, ये side hero है. When you speak of distribution and exhibition and those kind of support systems, so those structures, at least in the Hindi film industry, is very old and very like mom and dad shop type. Anywhere in the world, it's the girls who first, the onus of responsibility lies on the girls sort of to cover up or to, you know, and it really doesn't matter, you know, what you're wearing.
I was so accepting of who I was, my body and everything. And that's because everyone was so transparent and everyone was so accepting. I didn't have to go through any change physically to be in a film.
My parents were not married, they had a live-in relationship, so they were very different for their time.
Everyone may be squeamish about desire still, and I think the film hopes that when we remove that judgment, it allows people to really truly feel in their own spaces.
Hi guys, welcome to the Quint and thank you so much for talking to me. I watched the film a few days ago and I have to say that even today there are scenes from the film that just pop up and I'm thinking, wow, what did that scene mean?
Amazing.
You know, so really thank you so much for bringing this film to us and thank you so much for doing such a fabulous job in the film, the three of you. This question is to all of you. The film is so high on empathy. The film is so high on relatability. That's why I think even 3 days and 4 days later, I'm thinking about the film so largely. What is that one aspect of any of the characters, a scene, or from the film that connects with you all personally?
When she was just oiling my head. Actually, in the film, I don't know how much it comes to the audience because while we were shooting that moment, I can't see her. I was just sitting there and she was just oiling, and in her touch, there was something, and I remember that experience in the scene. I don't even think 1/100th of it is even coming into the scene because live is something. We all felt it while we were there. I think camera fails in capturing the...
I think it really does. For me, that scene was one of the most beautiful scenes in the dance.
When you said empathy, for me, that was something.
Because I was half expecting her to sit down on you to do the chumpy, and you know, because the nurturer is always kind of provide nurturing. But the minute she turned the table, for me that scene was beautiful. So I think it comes across.
Personally, really feel for Anila's character, and through this film, I have kind of garnered a lot of respect and also a lot of apology from my side to my mother. I think the way that scene happened was when I was really thinking about my mother and about Anila at the same time. When I was growing up, when I was in my teenage years, I was texting. So a lot of my fights with my mother happened through texts. I remember when we were filming the scene and I was like, oh my god, I was not that bad to my mom. But now I have textual evidence that I was. So I went back home and I could read that and I was like, I'm horrible. I can't be like this. Through this film, to love Anila was, I think, something that I've really enjoyed. And through that, to love all the mothers and to forgive.
One of the scenes was towards the end, there's a dining table conversation. And Anila wants to know what this conversation is about. There's this question that, oh, so what do you think about me in that
Which
context?
is my key or something.
What's my key?
What's my key?
And Shri plays it very cool, and then he just says, oh, you like that, you know, I enjoy your food, and I compliment it. And then she does this tap on my shoulder. I remember feeling something inside me at that moment, as if like, you're a kid, you're still a kid. I thought, whatever, so
you thought you'll outsmart her, but she outsmarted you.
I mean, I feel like the empathy in the gaze of the film is one of the key highlights of the film for me. I think what you said as soon as you entered, that the film has stayed with you despite some time having elapsed, means that it has stood the test of time. For me, that is the mark of cinema. And I hope that through these brilliant performances that people will be forced to think and forced to, look at themselves in the mirror and forced to really have empathy and compassion for each other in a very true way. Because really it starts from the home. I'm very happy this is our first. In fact, the last time we were doing promotions for Fukre, we were talking about how, whether to have a child, and now that it's so funny, I have a daughter and we are sitting here promoting Girls Will Be Girls, and it's it's quite a interesting turn of events.
You know, there's a scene in the film where she complains to the teacher about the shots, the boys
Yeah.
clicking pictures, etc. And the teacher is quick to say that you be careful, you know, like boys will be boys,
Sounds
kind
familiar.
of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? Have you all ever been in a situation where you've been told you be careful, which kind of comes from a space of being restrictive and feeling oppressive?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That is a common rite of passage for every girl growing up. I wouldn't even dare say in India, but anywhere in the world. It's the girls who first, the onus of responsibility lies on the girls, sort of to cover up or to, you know, and it really doesn't matter, you know, what you're wearing, what you're doing. So it's really sad, but I think the scene also goes to highlight how misogyny can be so internalized that these words can come out of a woman's mouth.
Yes.
Grew up in a family very different though. I'm just because
Yeah.
my parents are not that at all. I could do anything I want all my
nice.
life. I went to a Malayalam medium school.
Yeah.
My father was very particular that I asked him, why didn't you send me to an alternate school? Since anyway, my parents were not married, they had a live-in relationship, so they were very different for their time, and they always said, you don't want to go to school, don't go to school, learn to climb a tree, that's also best. Like that's how I was brought up in that kind of surrounding. But he still said, but we are living in a society where patriarchy is going to come in your way, and you need to learn to negotiate with it and learn how to put your foot on that.
Yeah.
So you will be in a normal school, you will interact with everybody like grounded to the reality and learn how to have your identity within that. But I had a full support from my family.
Oh, nice.
Like I am coming from a different family, I'm just saying it out loud. Like they have
But
worked
which is
hard
great.
for too, you know.
Yeah. Very few can say that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, my immediate parents were amazing, but my extended family,
course,
joint
of course,
family
of course.
was
Yeah.
kind of,
Of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think we all can speak volumes about those things. You know, the other very interesting thing, of course, in the film, which everyone's talking about, is how women's desires are spoken about so openly, but without shaming anybody. A woman's desire, whether it's sexual, whether it's political, whether it's craving the need for attention, anything is somewhere frowned upon or not really received as beautifully as a man's desire would be, right? When you interact in your daily basis with people around you, is that something that you still feel? There's this discomfort that people also sense or feel when you're talking to them about it?
everyone's
sound
maybe
preachy though.
squeamish about desire still. And I think the film hopes that when we remove that judgment, it allows people to really truly feel in their own spaces. And it can get uncomfortable to watch, but that discomfort is coming from a space where you feel like you've been through something similar, and not that it's cringe. So I feel in that, to bring it back to the film, that exploration just makes people become more easy with their own self.
To you and to Ali, firstly, I want to say thank you so much for championing a film like that, and bringing such a beautiful story to all of us. Do you guys, as now producers, feel like there's this sort of disconnect from in the industry and independent films when it comes to the kind of support they deserve? Y'all are taking that step already, and in spite the awards, y'all have been nominated for so many yourselves. Do you feel there's still this lack of support where independent films don't get the space, the exhibition space, or the time to even reach the larger audience enough?
I mean, the reason why we are coming on this platform is because that space is like, the audience doesn't care. The audience wants to watch a good film. Whether they have to spend those $500 and go to the cinema or watch it at home, they're paying us with their time. So I really think that things are changing. Audience has actually matured sooner than the film industry. The film industry is still stuck in this loop of ये commercial है, ये item song है, ये action है, ये thriller है, ये hero है, ये side hero है, those kind of conversations. But with the coming of streaming platforms, there's a lot more, in a way there's a lot more democratization.
Hopefully, inshallah, I think that's the idea, to kind of bridge this commercial independent, right? At the end of the day, it's the financing that I'm realizing is deciding fates. So tomorrow we could be, working on another very good script that might require a very large amount of money. And it's about those people coming in and saying, hey, we actually champion you. So we could spend our lives doing what we do, but it's the other side as well. It's the corporates also who have to kind of understand where this entire society is heading and where we're at in the world stage of cinema and storytelling.
Like when you speak of distribution and exhibition and those kind
Yeah.
of support systems, so it's those structures, at least in the Hindi film industry, is very old.
Yeah.
And very like mom and dad shop type. But I want to appreciate the fact that we are sitting here today
Yeah.
in this
Go
luxurious
Amazon.
space with these posters and this cast and crew, everyone dolled up looking great. And that itself is a show of support for this film.
But were you ever vying like for a theatrical, or the idea was always to go on a platform?
I think it is smart to do direct to digital in this case because it takes a lot of load off the producer and the access.
Yeah.
I think the access is a big
Like
thing. Yeah.
people
Yeah.
can watch it at home without, mothers and daughters can watch it, families can watch it, everyone can watch it together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people can watch it, period, actually. That's
Yeah.
where it
That's
is.
what we want,
Like,
right? These stories to reach. Last question to the two of you. You know, you are so young and you'll have essayed such a nuanced, layered character. When you essay such complex characters, such a young age, is this something that you've discovered about yourself by being on the sets of Girls Will Be Girls?
Just like Meera's coming of age in the film, I also came of age with the film, and after that, it was a very deeply introspective process. Although it may seem like, you have to essay something so complex,
Yeah.
but all the answers lie within, and that's what Dilip sir helped us to, look into. All the emotions are inside me, and all the motivations, all the justifications, everything's come from within me. So I just had to tap into that. And I also learned that it was my first project. It was a feature length film, and so many firsts. But I realized just on the first day of the shoot, I wasn't nervous at all. I was so accepting of who I was, my body and everything. And that's because everyone was so transparent and everyone was so accepting. I didn't have to go through any change physically to be in a film, and I really enjoyed that, and that's made me even more accepting for future projects. Like, I'm just the way I am, and I will give you the best I can without altering anything. So,
That's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice, well said.
When I read the script itself, Suchi ma'am's every character on the outside, it was somebody who I had seen, or at least I know of someone. The students, the teachers, even for Anila, I had a rough reference type. And then to go deeper into that, it was, as a person itself, it was, I could learn so much. Takeaways being several of them, but one of them being that you might hurt someone without really having the intention of doing that. And yeah, just being more mindful.
Thank you so much for talking to me. Thank you for bringing this film to us. It's so brilliant, and I really do hope it reaches everybody.
Yes.
Thank you, you guys.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much.